What's up, family? Today's topic is double-edged swords. I hate them. It's so hard to differentiate. Hear me out. A double-edged sword is when a situation or a circumstance has both a positive and a negative effect, or the idea of two things can be true at the same time. The law of polarity can be included as well, that everything created has an equal and opposite reaction. So you see how this can make it hard when you're dealing with a situation that is a double-edged sword that makes you feel some type of way. Most humans, or at least a lot of people I know, have trouble with this issue. The issue accepting that two things can be true at once, or that something good for you can also be bad for you. And the other way around, something bad for you in large amounts might be good for you in small amounts. This is going to vary for a lot of things. I feel like the reason why a double-edged sword upsets a lot of people is because our natural human emotions. We all want to be right. We all can be stubborn. If you feel you've experienced it before, you're certain that you're right about it. Just all wrapped around ego causes a problem with double-edged sword. I feel like double-edged swords create arguments, right? Because one person feels they're so right in this thing and the other person feels they're so right in this thing. And then if you ask a bystander, you both may be right, but what is right or wrong in the situation? We all struggle to accept when we're wrong about something, especially when we feel really hard about it. More negatives about double-edged swords. I would say that sometimes it make you feel like you're pulling your hair out. You're going crazy because you're trying to get an answer, and like you can see one point of view, but then you're validating your point of view. It leaves you stuck and searching for answers. It can attack your standards. It can attack your values. It's going to attack your reactions. So all of these things, these are all negative effects of a double-edged sword. What challenges a double-edged sword can bring. To discuss some positives that a double-edged sword can provide, we can say that it provides another point of view. It will test your emotional maturity. It lead to research because you're going to want to get down to the bottom of the answer, which means you're learning more in the process as well. To let a double-edged sword be a positive, I feel like it really takes a mindset shift to just embrace that, we don't know everything. You can be wrong, I can be wrong. Other way around, we could both be right, we could both be wrong. Double-edged swords are just, there's good and bad, but it's so frustrating for me because it's hard to see the good and bad when you're upset, or it's hard to get to an answer when it's something you're new to dealing with. So if you add a double-edged sword to that, it's like, what am I supposed to do? But if you can work through double-edged swords, you and another person can come together. You can create new point of views. You can find answers. I think double-edged swords just bring a lot of growth once you're willing to work through them, of course. I wanted to get on here and provide some frustrating examples that I wrote down that I deal with often. The biggest double-edged sword in my life is I feel like if you upset me in a way that disrespected me, I'm liable to react however. That's how I always start growing up, because you irritated me, right? But the double-edged sword is realizing that they may have done what they did, but I'm still responsible for my actions. A second double-edged sword that we all go through is losing a long-term friend can be very hard. It can be very devastating. It can fuck with your trust issues. It makes you question a lot, and make you question yourself sometimes. But remaining friends with someone who isn't a true friend, or doesn't show up when you need them, or just doesn't equivalent to the friend that you are, is just as damaging. So it's just as damaging to let go of a long-term friend, but it's just as damaging to hold on to a long-term friend. Double-edged sword. Number 3, cell phones have many benefits. I have a computer in my pocket. I can talk to anybody whenever I want. You can FaceTime people now. You can get answers, like so many benefits. But if you're an old soul, or if you lived more than half your life without a technology or a cell phone, you understand and you see how damaging it is nowadays, like to where people can barely hold conversations, or you go in a room, everybody's on their phone, people barely having family time anymore. Like, cell phones are great. Social media is great. It can be used for good things, but naturally untrained, I think we can all agree they've caused a lot of problems for us. Fourth double-edged sword that I experience a lot. Entertainment may be fun. It may be rewarding at times. It may be relaxing at times. Step back and look at the hours spent entertaining yourself, whether that's scrolling through social media, a 2.5 hour long movie. And trust me, I love movies, but I had to wake up and realize as I've been growing up that, you want different, you got to do different. So while entertainment is fun, look at the time you wasted on knowledge, bettering yourself, your spirituality, embracing the nature, embracing your family. Entertainment is fun, but it is also damaging if overconsumed. Anything overly consumed could be damaging at some point in time. Anything. Number 5, this one relates close home to me because I've seen it in so many incidents. Alcohol can be fun. We all normalize celebrating it. Liquor has been legal for how long? But look at the long-term effects. We all know that drinking can kill you. You can sugarcoat it however way you want to sugarcoat it. We all know it's poison. You do too much, you have a bad reaction. You do too much for too long period of time, you can literally, it changes your brain function and you can die from it. You can die from the lack of it because you've been doing too much of it. So while alcohol is fun, it's also a double-edged sword because it's a silent killer. And not even silent, we know about this again. So this is where you got to question society or question your own ones, which is, how much of a gamble are you willing to play with your life and your time? Number 6, this is a double-edged sword that I also struggle with my entire life. Just because I'm upset or pissed off about one situation does not mean that a random person or my girl or my family members deserves that projection. Have y'all seen the image that's been going around lately where it's like a bunch of cars and it's got a quote above each car talking about where a person thinking or what they're going through or what just happened? Maybe that person had a bad day. And for the person having a bad day, that does not make it okay for you to go snap and lose it on another. I was prone to this. I used to live by the statement of, if you piss me off and you get, I used to live by the statement of, if I'm pissed off and it has nothing to do with you and you get in my way, now it's coming to you and you should have just stayed out of it. That's your fault. Psych! It's not. It's still my fault. Just because you're upset does not give you the right to take that out on a bunch of other people. And you know, even for somebody, even if it's the person who upsets you, then you got to question, what are you willing to continue to deal with? Go about yours and try to be the change you want to see and let others go about their business as well. Number 7 is a double-edged sword in life in general. That's why I mentioned the law of polarity, because how many times have we all heard pain can make or break you? How many times have we all seen somebody come from a very tragic situation and make the utmost out of themselves and do things that they never thought they could do or others around them never thought they could do? But if we can all dig deep in a painful moment and let it fuel you, let it try to find a lesson from it, how can you use pain to your advantage? For me, I assume most men feel the same way. When I get upset, sometimes that can make me mad within itself. That's the toxic masculinity trait, you know, getting mad at yourself for being upset. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to embrace your feelings. You have to embrace your feelings. Obviously, people have different pain tolerances, but I do believe through the millions of cases that pain can be life-changing. Period. Both good or bad. So if you can believe that pain can be life-changing in a bad way, why can you not believe that pain can be changing in a good way? Don't let that sound inconsiderate. I know what it's like to be in pain and you're fogged up. You gotta let the pain fuel you because it's not gonna go anywhere. Pushing it down, trying to suppress it with substances or whatever, you have to face your demons and look them head on. So how can pain fuel you? These were all examples of double-edged swords. I hope I brought a new light to you. I hope I made you see things a little differently. I hope I made you think of double-edged swords in your life and how you can react on them. I came up with a few ideas on how to go about double-edged swords. I don't want to call them solutions. Maybe we could say some tips. I wrote these down. You can solve a double-edged sword by practicing your standards, your wants, and your needs. Really taking the time to get to know yourself. It really helps you decide what you're willing to put up with and what you're willing to accept. There is truth in what's okay for you does not have to be okay for me. I would say if you know that you don't want to deal with something, and you're stern on that, let go of the opposing side so it doesn't drive you crazy pulling back and forth, and then take a step back to reflect where you went right or wrong at. And again, truthfully, some things just take time to work through. Stop comparing your situation and your mindset. That's what keeps getting me. Don't compare what's okay to your family or to whoever. What's okay for them doesn't have to be okay for you. So stop comparing your life. Comparison is a thief of joy. Don't compare your standards versus another. Hold your standards. When dealing with them and you're trying to figure out how to decide and act on a double-edged sword, think of consequences and what you'll regret and what it'll take. These may be small, but it's worth trying It's what I've been trying lately. I hope it can help you, and I hope you can keep your sanity when dealing with a double-edged sword, because they drive me crazy and I'm working on it. Keep striving, keep pushing yourself. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share your feedback, share your thoughts, share another topic you'd like me to discuss in detail. I got more coming on the way. Take care of yourself and take care of your health. It's most important in this life, your mental and your spirit.